Welcome to episode 43 of the Bulls REKAP Podcast. I'm Joe Cowley of the Chicago Sun-Times. You can read me in the Sun-Times. You can follow me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at @JCowleyHoops. This is the last episode of Season 1, and what better way to do it than start getting ready for Season 2. And we're going to do that with a whole kind of overlook of the NBA, top storylines. Some of the camps have already started. Bulls camp, Bulls Media Day will be next week on Monday, the 29th. And then they go right at it, practice. And they're in Cleveland October 7th for the first preseason game. So this is coming quick. I think it's going to be an unbelievable season for the NBA. The storylines are vast. Whether it's the rookie class, which didn't even make the top 5, and everyone knows how I feel about Cooper Flagg and what he can do. I think he's going to be the face of the NBA within 3 to 4 years, or at least one of the faces. Doesn't even crack the top 5. Obviously, very little Bulls related. Kind of doesn't crack the top 5. But let's start. Number 5. We'll go 5-1. Love this player. It's taken, this is going to be year 6. Maybe, just maybe, we will finally see Zion Williamson take this craft serious and become the force that can play. You don't have to give me 82. How about 65, Zion? How about 68 games? How about not being fat? How about no stripper stories and baby mama stories? How about just be an NBA player? Because when he is, last year, 25-6 with 5.3 assists, 60% from the field, the three-point shot, it's never going to be there with him. If you could get him to 35, God bless you and God bless your shooting coach. That's not what he's about. But I'm going to tell you something right now. When he plays, there is nothing like him in the NBA. There is nothing that plays with such force. There is nothing as dominant, especially in the paint, obviously, and around the rim. And he shows up 40 pounds lighter. He says Joe Dumars, the new president, has kind of leaned on him. And maybe that's what he needed. Maybe he needed a real dad figure, an NBA dad figure, to let him know you can be as good as you want to be. So I hope it's there. I mean, he is signed. He's got this season, and then he signed through 27-28. I have a feeling if it doesn't happen this season, whether it's a setback with off-the-court stuff or the play isn't there or injuries, they might want to start thinking about giving up on him. It'd be 2 years left on his contract, plus whenever they made that decision on this year would be prorated. But huge year for him, huge year for the Pelicans, because when he's right, there's not many stopping him. So that was number 5. I'm excited to see a slim down. I mean, he looks like a grown-ass man who slimmed down. About time, Zion. Number 4, again, shows us where these storylines are. OKC, defending champs. Can you do it again? I think they have the makeup. I think they have the coaching staff. They have the DNA to, if they don't repeat, because the West is a bear, I think they can definitely be factors in the West and make it to the finals. Will they get out, or the Western Conference Finals? Will they get out of that? Remains to be seen. But barring an injury, there's just not many teams that have that depth, that style of play, and could beat them in a 7-game series. I don't see one out there. Can they repeat? Can this be a Thunder dynasty? Everybody's back. The Carew Show is back. SGA, the MVP. I mean, I think they are, and we say this every year. I thought Boston kind of felt like that was going to be a dynasty. That didn't happen. After the Golden State thing ran its course. But this feels like this has some staying power, as nasty and deep as the West is. And we'll see. And that brings us to, here's a big reason why, number 3, Houston Rockets. Houston, we have a problem. If you weren't paying attention, Fred VanVleet, to me, he is not the most talented player on that roster, obviously with the addition of KD, Sengun, and all the other guys they have, even in trading Jalen Green. But he is the heartbeat. He is the soul. He was the championship pedigree. Torn ACL, working out, getting his runs in, just like all the players, over at the Advocate Center have been doing for a couple of weeks. I think everybody's in town in Chicago. I was told everybody's been there at the Advocate Center scrimmaging, except I think Javon Carter is still strolling in, but he'll be there soon. Obviously, he's got money to collect. So massive news out of the West with this injury. So why has this become a Bulls story? Well, let's see what they lost in Fred VanVleet. Combo guard, mostly a point guard, but can play either one. Can score when needed to. 3-point shooter. Can play with pace, can slow it down. Not an all-star, but a fringe all-star. Who does that sound like? That sounds like a certain Bulls combo guard whose contract is up after this season, Mr. Coby White. Look, there's pieces there to make this deal. It just takes one phone call to say, hey, you are in a bad position because you were built to win it this year. KD's a one-year deal. KD's got one more year left on his deal. I mean, maybe he extends, but this window for them is to kick open right now. So they lose their main playmaker. Why not say, okay, we're going to give up some of this depth. We pushed all our chips to the table, and it was 5 draft picks, Dylan the Villain Brooks, and Jalen Green for KD. So you went all in already with your future. You got to go even deeper now with this injury. Call the Bulls. Bulls call Houston. However it works out. What's it going to take? Well, it's going to take Reed Sheppard, and it's going to take Tari Eason. Money works out. Forget picks. I know people make, a second-round pick because Houston gave away so many of their second-round picks. If you have to put a future second round in, if you're the Bulls, just do it. Who cares at this point? And I'm going to tell you why. Tari Eason's you get a one-year look at him before you have to make a decision on him, and that's great. I think it lines up with their timeline with Okoro. Patrick Williams, you're kind of stuck with. You know what? You could just make Patrick Williams the third forward if Tari Eason does what I think he can do. But the main piece in this is Reed Sheppard. I love Reed Sheppard. I don't think he got it wasn't even his fault when you have a roster that is so deep like Houston. Minutes were just hard to come by. But I'll tell you what, in Summer League, especially this last Summer League, I think he was 23, I want to say 5 rebounds, 4 steals. I mean, I love this dude's game. I think he's a kind of could play a combo type guard. I think he can become a really good 3-point shooter. He'll be in year 2. He fits with the modest timeline, keeping those two together. Josh Giddey obviously is locked up for the next 4 years at $100 million. I just think it would be the perfect addition to a team that is rebuilding, won't call it rebuilding, leaning on reloading, but looking for some kind of star power. And maybe the star power is a Reed Sheppard or a Modest Buchelis or the combination of those two playing off one another. I don't know, but it ain't this. So I love that trade idea. As soon as I saw the injury to VanVleet, I'm like, if I was Arturas, I would have called minutes ago and been like, hey, and it's not even a knock on Coby White. It just, this is where the Bulls are. They are stuck in mediocrity. Do something about it. So number 3 was Houston. You've got a problem. Bulls, fix it. Number 2, I don't know why I like this storyline so much. It probably could have been number 5 in some people's eyes, maybe not even the top 5. The Brooklyn Nets are trying something that I think, because of the new landscape of the CBA, first apron, second apron, we know all about that. By the way, Houston's in the first apron, so it isn't like they can go out and just sign guys. They have no money to do that. So the only way they get better is trade. That was the other reason I was like, Arturas, call him. But what Brooklyn's trying to do, 5 first-round picks. Their rookie class is going to have 5 first-round guys on. does this become kind of the quick new way to fix your team where you just mortgage, collect picks, and not worry about, oh, we have to get that number one guy, we have to get that top three guy because it's a heavy, top heavy draft. Just get picks, and especially if you like the draft class, and pick the hell out of that class. And, they went right down the line as far as here's a guard, here's another guard, here's a forward, here's a big guy. So do I think they're going to hit home runs with all five? Absolutely not. I like Igor Denman. I've talked about him before. We'll see what he does. But this could kind of be the quick rebuild, or not quick, but the rebuild model of the future where teams just say, hey, let's just collect all these picks and go into a draft class and draft the hell out of it. And, we have control over all these guys under this new CBA. So why don't we do that? And then the guys that we feel good about, we stick with and build as a core. If we have to move a couple of them, we move a couple of them. I'm just really anxious to see how this looks, how this plays out. Even in year one, it's going to be bumpy. They're basically like a college team. They're 13th grade with ashtrays at this point, basically. But I am anxious to see what this will look like and how it plays out, because it's a copycat league. And if this thing works within 2 or 3 years, and then you could supplement it because everyone's on rookie contracts with some veterans, it'd be something to see. So that was my number 2. And number 1, don't care how many people get sick of it. Don't care how many people turn off Sports Center because in the NBA season, blah, 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 it's all about LeBron. It is all about LeBron. This is going to be year 23 for the chosen one, the king, the best all-around player that I've ever seen in my lifetime, LeBron James. Will this be his swan song? Will this be his take a step back and let skinny Luka have complete control of the late show? How much fight is left in him? Are the Lakers contenders with these two superstars because of a slimmed down Luka? I mean, there's something about the old guard, and I think you throw Steph Curry in this too. What Golden State has left? Do they have one more swing in them with a full season, with playing together with Jimmy Butler and the addition he brought? LeBron James just intrigues me, everything he does. I know it's not a popular opinion in Chicago, but too damn bad. I have never seen anyone like him. Availability, longevity, what he's done as far as lifting very mediocre teams with Boobie Gibson and bums like that. That number 1 is, does the lion have a roar still? And does he have claws to back up that roar? So, I mean, like I said, unbelievable NBA season about to start next week. I'm all in for it. And first and foremost, the chosen one. What else has he got left in the tank? So those are my 5 storylines, my main 5 storylines for this NBA season. We'll get into more Bulls-specific stuff later this week or early next week. So let's go to Cowley Island. We got a little rant. I said that I talked about this before, Kobe White. I love Kobe White because of, and trust me, the relationship, it hasn't always been great between us, especially between his brother and myself. But here's what I really respect the hell out of Kobe White, and I've told him this and apologized for doubting him. The work ethic, second to none. Goes into off seasons. A lot of guys going off seasons. I think this was the knock on Zach. Let's perfect what I'm really good at. Okay, so you come back with you're a really good ball handler. You come back a little better of a really good ball handler. You're a really good corner 3-point shooter. You work out. Why? That stuff's good. How about you start checking the boxes that you're not good at? And that's what Kobe White does really well, especially the last 3 or 4 years where I think it's kind of sunk in of what he needed to improve in. And you could go like right down the list. Like last year, he needed to be stronger, more physical, play with more physicality on both ends. He did that. The year before was about consistency and getting his win because he was asked to do a role he had never done before, playing heavy minutes. The year before that, it was become a pure point guard and learn how to just be a point guard and run this team. And he always checks those boxes, and that's what I really respect the hell out of him. That's why I want him to elsewhere. He is wasting away in Chicago. The Houston thing to me is a win-win for both teams. I cannot stress this enough. I want Kobe White to play in meaningful games because I think his work ethic and the way he's busted his ass, he deserves that. It ain't in Chicago. A playing game against Miami every year only to go home, that ain't it. So please get Kobe White out of here, and not because I don't like the dude and respect the dude. It's actually the other way around. I want to see the dude play in games where it means something to him and he can feel good and say, I busted my ass to get here, and these all mean something to me instead of this one-and-done mediocre crap that he's been trapped in. No wonder he said, no thanks to your extension. I'm going to explore free agency. Give him a push out the door and send him to a contender like Houston. Fix two things, one stone. Do it, AK. And finally, the list. ESPN came out with their top 100. They have not named 1 through 10, but don't worry, there's no Bulls in there. The highest ranking Bull I could find, I looked a couple times, was Mr. Kobe White, the just mentioned Kobe White, at number 71. A lot of slippage. He was 58 last year. Some guys in his territory. Zach LaVine, we all know him, was 72. DeMar DeRozan, we kind of know him too really well, was 80. Caruso was number 53. And just because he's my guy, check Cooper Flag, already number 52. When you know, you know. So, made me thinking, all right, Kobe is the highest ranking Bull for ESPN's top 100. Why don't we rank the Bulls 1 through 5? So let's do that. Number 5. Don't care. Don't really factor in people's criticisms. Number 5 is going to be Ayo. Love Ayo's game. Hard-nosed. To me, he has a chance to be their best two-way guard. I base this on not only what I've seen, but potential. So he is number 5. Number 4, the Vooch. Again, don't care. Not concerned about your criticisms. Vooch shot 40% from 3. Vooch is the most unselfish guy I've come across the last 4 or 5 years because of everything he's had to sacrifice to do what he does for the Bulls. I thought he was phenomenal last year. Go ahead and knock his rim protection. That's fine. Go ahead and knock the fact that he's not this defensive shutdown guy. Well, you can't do that because he was part of a top 10 defense with the Bulls. So he obviously can do something from a team defensive standpoint. He needs the right pieces around him. Number 3, Josh Giddey. If I'm getting Josh Giddey post All-Star with an urgency to play defense now, we're talking number 2, possibly number 1. But Josh Giddey, as is, very inconsistent season last year, his first year with the Bulls. Poopy first half, benched a couple times late in games. They didn't want him out there. Teams were hunting him down. Everything that was a nightmare for OKC in that playoff series to Dallas showed itself early on. So he really came and redeemed himself after Zach LaVine got traded. He said he felt more comfortable because they needed leadership. They needed someone to step up and take the Zach shots, and he did that. And I will say this, he gets knocked for being a stat stuffer. His numbers last year led to wins. They went 15-5 the last 20 games. I don't think you should read too much into March basketball. I've said that numerous times. But the fact is, he played well and they won. That goes hand in hand. So number 3 for right now. Number 2, and I fought this one because I wanted to make him number 1 just based on the hype of this offseason, the added muscle, what he's been doing from what I've been told in these pickup games, what I saw in Summer League. Modest Buchelis. He's added handle back to his game. Remember, he used to be a guard, so that's always been there. They want to see him be a secondary ball handler, push the ball up the floor, assist, ball handle, do his thing, dunk, whatever he's got to do with that ball in his hands. So number 2, but again, very fragile. Could be number 1. If everything works out right, should be number 1. And number 1 is the guy who shouldn't be a Bull for I'd give it, say, another week. He should be a Bull and then be gone, and that's Coby White. Look, he's the most talented guy on the roster, does the most experience, and in big moments, whether it's been must-win games at the end of the season, with what's left on the roster, he's the closest to a step-up guy. So, he's had his 40-point games and had his big moments. I think playing game a couple of years ago, he was unstoppable. Still needs some things that need to be fixed. Tyler Harrell took him and Giddey apart last year in the playing game, so he's an imperfect player, but you're talking about a very imperfect roster. So for right now, Coby White, number one. Ideally, what should happen? This list should be way different in not only a week, it should be different in about 2 months. It should be Modest, Giddey, Reed Shepherd, Vooch traded, Tari Eason, and Curl. How about that? That should be what the list looks like in about a month. But for right now, that's it. Like I said, 1 season in the books. Next time you see me, we will be on season 2, a Bulls training camp preview. But until then, I've got next.